Top 10 cards of Innistrad remastered. Let's go. Emrakul, number 1, the Promised End, super broken, able to take control of your opponent. Even though they can take an extra turn, doesn't matter. You can completely screw him over. Great opportunity to get this guy. Super great card. Gristlebrand, commander, staple, one of the best cards. So many broken decks coming out of him. Super useful, super expensive. Any Avacyn, any of them are good, in my opinion. Even the flip one. The original one, super good. If I was going to be buying packs trying to get anything, these 3 cards are definitely a staple. These are the ones that most people think of. However, you have the Host of Heroines, flying hexproofs, spells and abilities your opponents control can't cause you to sacrifice permanents. Staple in Commander. I'm sure a lot of new players probably don't have them in their Commander decks. Super easy card to get. Temple Mastery with a miracle to take an extra turn after this one. Super good. And only for 7 mana, honestly, for Commander alone, this card is so good. The art is great. Now, this is a personal favorite. You know. Gisela and Bruna combined to Brasilla, Voice of Nightmares. This is the only card that fuses into one that I put on this list, and it's one of the favorites, the most creative one. This is probably the most well done of all these cards, in my opinion. Edgar Makarov, great commander by himself, super good in terms of just vampires, great colors, super fun to play. Good grab. Plus, the art's amazing if you're able to get it, which, let's be honest, who will? Same thing with Olivia. This is the original Olivia. So good. Just completely control the board with her. I think as a commander, she's super sweaty. So back in the day, people didn't like to play her as commander. But I feel like that's pretty okay now. But great card, even by herself. You know, you can throw her into a red-black-blue deck, red-black-white deck, and she can definitely cause some damage. The Gitrog Monster. I put this in here mainly because the art was awesome, but I know that a lot of people are able to manipulate the graveyard really well. And this was a very strong card from what I remember back when I was playing Magic Gathering. So reprinting it, I'm sure everyone's going to be hunting it. Now, this is a tie, win and 7 with the Eldr Evolution. Eldr Evolution is just a great tutor for green. So if you don't want to go black for tutors, you got this great card. But Vren? Oh man, I don't know if I'm saying this right at all. Probably not. Super great card, man. Putting lands on the battlefield consistently with the first 2 abilities. That alone is a great greens planeswalker. You could probably play this turn 3, honestly, if you're lucky in most decks. So super good. So this is all just extra stuff. This is just cards that I thought were really good. So if you're still here, leave a like, comment what you're hoping for. But these are just all going to be cards that I personally like. So Caterhoof Behemoth didn't make top 10. He was close though. But when this creature enters, creatures you control gain trample and get plus XX, where X is the number of creatures you control. Just great green staple, works so well in a lot of decks, doesn't need to have a lot to really synergize with him. Then you have Lisa, Forgotten Archangel. Ooh, man, I'm talking too fast. Flying Lifelink. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, return that card to an owner's hand at the beginning of the next step. Oh, if you're able to make her indestructible, she is just going to make your deck come alive, especially early in the game in Commander, just freely swinging it on people. And you get the enter the battlefield effects too. Super good. Now, Delver's Secret Storyline is a card that I just like putting in a lot of my blue decks just because it's so funny and wacky. But the story is there. It's super cool card, and the fact that they gave him 3 reprints and it's back, super cool classic, and it's just a common, uncommon to rare. So super funny evolution. It's fun to put him in some wizard specific commander decks, but that aside, super cool card. Bloodline Keeper. I feel like I played this in my commander deck. He seemed super overpowered because he's just someone that people are like, oh, that card can be broken, but it takes forever. But when you really think about it, you could play him on the battlefield and he slowly just builds up. some vampire armies for you to really manipulate and just wail on people. So I think this card is good in Commander in general. Maybe some Commander decks are too optimized to run something this just kind of there. But generally speaking, this card is good just to have out there to build some army threats. Ordrich and Talia, maybe. Both of these cards are just good white staples, right? A lot of people probably forgot about them, but Ordrich, at the beginning of your each combat, creatures you control gain first strike until end of turn. If your creature you control has first strike, but then you do the same thing for every other keyword. So flying, death touch, double strike, haste, hexproof, indestructible, lifelink, menace, reach, skulk, trample, and vengeance. So if any of your creatures have any of that stuff, your whole board gets them. Super good for small white guys, small white creatures. Oh, that's gonna be bad. Oh, that's so funny. But this is just fun. Just little minion armies going in and getting all these great abilities. I think he's good for a lot of other decks that just include white. Maybe not as a commander, but he can definitely boost a lot. Then you have Talia, where other creatures and non-basic lands your opponent controls enter tap. It's just an annoying card. I know that a lot of white decks use enchantments to just do the exact same, and it's super annoying, but here's a creature that can be utilized, especially when you put them next to each other. You can see the benefit. So Black Planeswalker. So Liliana and Sor were the two that really grabbed my attention. Liliana of the Veil is the classic. Each player discards a card. And then -2, target player sacrifices creature of their choice. Just as strong in general, especially turn 3. You can at least do it once, twice on 2 turns later. But then -6, separate all permanents target player controls into 2 piles. That player sacrifice all permanents and 1 in the pile of their choice. If you get this off, it's so good. If you don't want to run if you just want to have a Planeswalker deck, this is a staple for sure. Next, Sorin. Target you gains Death Touch and Lifelink until end of turn. This vampire get a +1/+1 counter on it. Not the best. If you're running a vampire deck, it's super good. You may sacrifice a vampire. When you do, Sorin deals 3 damage to any target and you gain 3 life. It's a +1. You just have to have a vampire. But you may put a vampire creature card from your hand onto the battlefield -3. And that's what we're talking about. Turn 3. Play it -3. You're dropping bombs. And that's what we want to see, right? And that's why he's on the list. Is that ability alone. You're paying 3 mana to get something big on the board fast. Reforge the Soul. It's a miracle. It's super annoying. Each player discards their hand and then draws 7. Great card for a commander. It is just chaos. Cultivator Colossus has power and toughness equal to lands you control. I think there's so many cards that can do this, but when this creature enters the battlefield, you may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you do, draw a card and repeat this process. Ooh, man. And this is where it gets crazy, and if you combine this with Graveyard Manipulation, you can just cycle this card a couple of times and really get out of that mana flood and utilize the lands that you have. Holebreaker Horror. Flash. This spell can't be countered. Whenever you cast a spell, choose up to 1. Return target spell you don't control to his hand, or return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. It's pretty good. It's solid. I know a lot of people are like, oh, this isn't good, but honestly, it's a rare. And for a lot of new players, this will help a lot. Just 7 mana to do something for sure you want to happen. It will help a lot. Snapcaster Mage. Ooh, man. If you don't know, you're about to learn. Flash. When this creature enters, target instant sorcery card in your graveyard gains flashback until in turn. Flashback cost is equal to its mana cost. So basically, you're just able to play it from your graveyard. It's classic. Play it, copy it. It's so strong. There's a great deal of commander decks that utilize this, and in combination with that, it's a human wizard, so you make a strong wizard commander deck. It's something that has kind of gone out of style from what I've seen recently, but it's a great deck. It's a great card, and it's a mythic for good reason. It's because it can be coupled with a lot of other cards and do some broken stuff. Grimgin and Gissa and Girolf, right? If you don't know who they are, classic zombie manipulators of Innistrad. I don't know why I was seeing there. But Grimgin was an interesting one that I saw that I had to put in there where he doesn't untap during your untap step, but you sacrifice a creature to untap him and put a +1/+1 count on him. So that's already annoying. There's a lot of cards like zombies that you can keep playing from the graveyard without anything special. It's just their ability. So that's annoying to couple with this. And then when he attacks, destroy target creature defending player controls and put another +1/+1 count on him. So he's just automatically annoying, right? Super strong. Maybe not commander worthy, but definitely with some right deck building in commander. Ooh, man. Crazy stuff. In limited, he could be good in draft or even sealed. This could be a very strong card, but we'll have to see. These two are just classics. The mill 4 cards, and once during each of your turns, you may cast a zombie creature card from your graveyard. It's just solid. It's just you play them. If they're your commander, that's what I've seen a lot of people do. It's just a solid commander and let your deck do the talking. Chalice of Life. So this is a fun one. It's an uncommon artifact. I know probably a lot of people just pass by and like, oh, that's cute. But you gain a life, and then if you have at least 10 life more than your starting life total, transform this artifact. Target player loses 5 life. So, you know, if you look outside the scope of Innistrad, there's so many life gain decks, and for 3 mana, tapping it and transforming it, it's just a fun artifact, right? And there's some decks where, like, I think of red-white that could really utilize this, bringing the artifacts back and forth, that this could just be an annoying one, where out of all the things you're worried about, it's them losing 5 life per turn, but with artifact manipulation, you can just constantly hit, and, oh, it's just a fun one that I found. And then Conjurer's Closet, as well as the Fragment, are the last 2 that I have. Conjuring Closet was a classic. I feel like I had to do this, where at the end of your turn, you may basically blink a creature from the battlefield and then bring it back. So those enter the turn effects I was talking about with the green mana introducing Colossuses. Here's your simple engine, right? This is almost pluggable in any deck with the right creatures. You really don't have to think about it too much, because I would say there's at least probably 10 creatures in anyone's deck that could probably utilize this artifact, which is amazing. Is it worth it? I don't know, but that's how useful it is. Next is the Fragment. This artifact enters tapped. You may add 1 mana of any color. Each player loses 1 life. In Commander, obviously, this is going to make everyone hate you, but that's what makes it fun. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, if each player has 10 or less life, transform this artifact. So, is an early game. Well, people are going to be a little annoyed with it, but it might not be worth destroying it. But in the late game, when you Flying Death Touch, when this creature attacks, each opponent loses 3 life. That alone is just kind of funny, right? If you're running Eldrazi deck, if you're just playing with a bunch of people, Flying Death Touch is very much annoying to deal with. It's not the strongest one, but just swinging and dealing, if you're in a 4-player match, dealing 9 damage across the board. Super good, not really making enemies. Great card. But, you know, let me know what you guys think. They released it. I thought it was really good. Just wanted to talk about it. But let me know what you are looking forward to and if you're playing in any of the tournaments. I'm trying to get back into Magic slowly but surely. I've missed it a lot, and I'm starting to get more time. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Until next time, peace.